Hello and welcome to the Snippets of Leadership podcast. You never want to feel like you can't rely on your team. Sometimes your team is all you have and titles just don't matter. The only thing that matters is whether your team has your back or not, and it's up to you to build the personal bonds that will ultimately drive your team to be at your side no matter what. So my goal for today is to look at how to build those bonds and what the most effective way to build them is. The key point here is that research has looked at this type of relationship over the years and has concluded that there are only 6 relevant elements you need to consider to establish and strengthen your bonds with your team. And what's more, research also shows that you can pick and choose what elements you want to focus on depending on the results you want to achieve. Now, and just to be clear, building a relationship with your team is a massive topic, and we'll keep on revisiting it and building on it through this podcast. Each one of the 6 elements would deserve at least a whole episode, so take this first episode as a sort of introduction, because it will be the structure we'll keep as a reference. Once we have it down, we can feed more content into it and go more in detail, but we need to have it down first. That said, let's get to it. The 6 elements are role clarity, trust, job satisfaction, commitment to the organization, motivation, and empowerment. Those are the 6 components that shape your relationship with anyone in your team. Let's look at them one by one. Number 1, role clarity means how clear it is to this person what behaviors and tasks you expect from him or her. Second one, trust, means how confidently this person feels he or she can rely on your skills and character. Number 3, job satisfaction, which means how happy you make this person feel about doing his or her job. Number 4, commitment, means how attached or loyal to the organization you make this person feel. Number 5, motivation, meaning how competent you make this person feel in his or her position. And number 6, empowerment, meaning how much freedom to self-organize their work this person feels he or she has from you. Depending on different combinations of these 6 elements, you shape different relationships. For example, you may make someone feel committed and motivated, and that person will trust you as well, but that person may still not feel that he or she has any freedom to self-organize. Or someone else may instead feel that he or she can fully self-organize, but at the same time, that person may not trust you. In other words, these 6 elements create an incredibly useful map that you can use to get a sense of where you are with each member of your team and understand where you need to develop that relationship and what to work on, and you can apply it one-to-one or to the team as a whole. So you have these 6 elements, again, role clarity, trust, job satisfaction, commitment to the organization, motivation, and empowerment, and you control them for the most part, and you have a choice on what to do with them. If you want to build a relationship to drive someone's performance, you need to focus on a few elements with that person. If instead you want that person to be a good team player, you need to focus on another set. To drive someone's performance, you need to work firstly on being trusted, and afterward on giving them freedom to organize their work, on making them feel competent and happy in their job. Being clear about expected roles and tasks and being committed to the company play little to no role on performance. So, if you need someone to work better, work on trust, empowerment, motivation, and job satisfaction in that order. If instead you want to make sure that someone plays well with others in the team, that that person is honest and trustworthy, your first focus needs to again be on gaining his or her trust, and afterwards you need to focus on making him or her happy in their job, committed to the organization, and able to self-organize. To recap, if you need someone to behave better, focus on trust, job satisfaction, commitment, and empowerment in that order. So, in both cases, trust is the number 1 driver here. And if you don't have time to focus on all elements, just concentrate on earning a person's trust. That will be enough to boost both that person's performance and behavior. In other words, trust in you is not just another nice thing that your team could have. It's functional to how well your team works and how well they behave with each other. Trust is a driver, so use it as one. And in coming episodes, we will see how to develop your relationship via each one of these components. In general, though, the approach you should follow is pretty much always the same. First of all, you need to put down on paper how you see your relationship with someone based on those elements or on the specific element you're considering. Then, you need to compare your assessment with how that person sees the situation and take note of any gap you find. For example, you may believe that you're granting a lot of freedom while this person feels completely oppressed by your leadership style. Third, you need to identify what elements you need to work on to fill any gaps and to drive performance or good behavior. This may sound schematic, and to some extent it is, but working this way also gives you a clear structure that you can apply with everyone in your team. You can keep track of what elements matter to whom, and you can keep track of your progress over time. Before you start running off, a couple of words of caution. If you decide to experiment with building these relationships, the focus needs to be individual and balanced. You cannot do it more with some people and less with others. This is unfair, and if you come across as unfair and biased in how you treat different people, everyone in your team, including your chosen ones, will notice. And once they do, you can directly expect a drop in performance and a peak in conflict. So watch out. That said, if you work with this over time and develop trusting and solid relationships with all team members, maybe even getting to the point of using all 6 elements, you can expect not only to work with a group of people that will have your back no matter what, but also to grow quickly into the leader your team needs. Thank you for listening. My name is Edoardo Binda Zane from EBZ Coaching. I'm a leadership and communication trainer and consultant. And if you have any questions about what you've heard in this episode, please reach out to me via LinkedIn, Facebook, or my website. I'll be answering the most interesting questions on the show. And if you know someone that will benefit from this type of content, please make sure you recommend this podcast to them. Thank you, and see you next time.